If you're new to this space, it could feel like confusing. You don't really know a lot of things. You only know certain AI tools like popular ones, ChatGPT. Now you hear people say terminal, Git, GitHub, Visual Studio. You don't really know what that is, but all you know is AI, Claude Code. Maybe you've probably heard about Claude Code. That might feel overwhelming because you're trying to understand a lot of things at the same time. This is the AI. What does it do? This is the terminal. Claude Code, how does it work? Is it a chatbot or it runs on your terminal? And that's what people tend to get confused about, all these things, all right? In this video, I'm gonna break down everything, how to use the terminal, what is a terminal, what is Git, what is Claude Code, and how it works, and how you can utilize it on your day-to-day task. We're gonna set up the Git, we're gonna set up our GitHub account, and we're gonna connect that to our terminal. Claude Code is gonna help us do all that. We're going to use Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to show you how to set it up, how to download it, and how to use it. And finally, I'm going to show you the Claude.md files, and I'm going to explain how all that works in your context of your project. My point of this video is to help you see through this random technical terms, to simplify everything, to make sure you understand exactly what's going on, especially in the terminal, because a lot of people don't really know how to use a terminal, or they're scared to use a terminal. I think once you understand the workflow, Claude Code becomes completely easier to understand. And again, once you understand it, it's much easier to use, right, on your day-to-day tasks. So whether you're completely new or you've probably seen Claude Code on the internet somewhere, or you've watched another video and you want proper explanation of what it does and how to run it, or really what's happening behind the scenes in your terminal, this video is for you. Now I'm going to go to my screen and I'm going to show you everything on how to set it up, how to install it. All right, let's go to the screen. First, let's talk about what Claude Code is, right? Claude Code is the AI coding assistant that works directly inside your terminal. It can read code base. It can also create code base. It can edit files. It can also run commands because it's in your terminal, and it integrates with tools developers already use. It can run on your browser too. They have the browser version of Claude Code. Okay, next, before we jump into it, I just want to talk about terminal. A lot of you here are beginners. You don't really know what terminal is, or you have seen terminal, you don't know how to operate it. Terminal is like a text-based way of communicating with your computer. For example, you see your computer has files and everything. Right now, I'm in desktop, right? I can see my files. I can edit my files. If I go to my file structure, you can see I'm running out of space, right? This is the visual of everything that's inside my desktop. But once you open the terminal is basically the same thing. All your files are included, but it's a text-based style. You can create files, text-based. You can actually look for files by just typing, and you can actually edit files by just typing. This is pretty easier way to find files and edit files. Obviously, visual is going to be better, but this for like programmers and people like want to do stuff and make it more efficient, we always use a terminal. You have to get used to it. You have to know it. You have to understand the terminal. Basically, you type commands instead of clicking buttons. Command runs in current folder. I'm going to teach you what that is. And this is where you install your Git and Claude Code. So you install it in the terminal. You have basic commands like ls, Claude, which we're going to see, which we're going to do. You have cd, which is create directory. But I'm going to show you how everything works. All right, let's jump into this now. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this website. This helps you install Claude Code on your terminal. I'm going to leave the link in my description of everything I do. What you're going to do here, if you want to access your terminal, you come here. If you're on Windows, you press terminal. If you're on Mac, it's terminal. But what you're going to do here is you're going to run as administrator, right? So you're going to right click, and I'm going to run this as administrator. It's going to ask me, do you want to allow this app to make changes on your device? You say yes. Make sure it has Windows Administrator PowerShell. You want to open the PowerShell. You want to use PowerShell Windows. And for Mac, you don't need, just open the terminal. To install this, we're going to use a command. For Mac and OS, Linux, you're going to use this command. For Windows PowerShell, we're going to use this command, which is what we're going to be using. And for Windows CMD command line, you can use this if you're using Windows CMD. For this video, we're going to be using Windows PowerShell. Just copy this, right? Go back to our terminal, and we just paste this, right? And we just press enter. What this essentially is doing is installing Claude Code in my desktop, in my computer, through my terminal, right? This is going to take 5-10 minutes. Sometimes it takes less, like 3 minutes. And I'm going to come back and show you everything. All right, it's basically showing us an error. It's showing an underlying connection was closed and an unexpected error occurred. Let's try to investigate why we got this error. If you scroll down here, it says Windows require Git for Windows and install it first if you don't have it, right? Let's click on this. Now we're in Git. This is another URL. I'm going to post this on my description, okay? So essentially, what's Git? Let's talk about Git. Git intelligently tracks changes in your file. That basically gives like your local history of what you changed, when it changed, and why. Claude Code works directly with Git. Any code you have, it can commit it to Git. Git runs locally on your computer. These are like the basic Git commands. You have Git status, you have Git add, you have Git commit. It has like a working tree. It has a staging area where it goes into the next commit. Commit means is saved and has a snapshot of your history. That's why Git is very important for your Claude Code. So when it generates code, it actually commits that code. So you can actually go back and see what it actually did. Before we install Claude Code, we have to install Git because we got the error. For here, we're going to be using Windows. You can use Mac or Linux, whatever one you're using, but I'm using Windows. We go back here, click here to download the latest version of Git for Windows. The most recent maintained build was released 36 days ago, all right? What we're gonna do here, I'm just gonna click here. This is gonna download first. This is the times 64 version. If you want the times 32 version, I think it's somewhere, but I think you can search it if you want a times 32 version, all right? But I think it only has the times 64. So make sure your computer is good. I was downloading it first, and we're gonna come back and see it. For Mac, here, just it has its own instructions. There are a few options for installing Git on Mac OS. Choose one of the following options. So you can only install this, then run this command, install this, then run this command, or Xcode command line tools. So let's download this. All right, we're gonna say yes. All right, so we're gonna try to install this. But finish installing here. Let's install the setup wizard and we're just gonna launch it. Now we're gonna try to do this again. Let's go to the terminal, open this, and copy this, and we're gonna paste here and press enter. Let's see what we get. I went to open Claude.ai because it's giving me this error. I tried to install Claude Code into my terminal, but it gives this error here. And it says this command you're using is the right one. The error is a network issue on your machine, not a problem with the command itself. Here's how to fix it. Most likely fix is force TLS 1.2 and shell. Let's try this. Let's copy this. Let's try this command. I'm going to paste anyway. Let's see if that works. It's an older version of PowerShell. Default is TLS 1.0, which most servers no longer accept, causing that unexpected error. So it's saying basically my PowerShell, this is the older version. Now it's not working still. Let's clear this. And we go for option 2, clear. It's good I'm documenting this error if you ever find errors, because a lot of people are going to go through this problem too. And the second alternative is a npm method. You need a Node.js installed, 18. And I think I already have it, but let's see if this works. Now we paste this and let's see if that works. This is a npm install. Basically for this, I have Node.js installed. If you want to install that, you just go to Node.js, all right? Search it on Google, nodejs.com, how to install, and it's going to show you how to install it. So it says here, let's copy this, all right? And let's paste it here. That worked. Claude Code is now installed, all right? To get started, let's write Claude. If you get in problems installing this, right, on your Windows or PowerShell, if you install it and it's giving you this error right here, you try to install it, it's giving you this underlining connection was closed, probably go with this npm installation, right? I'm going to leave this in my description below too. And for this npm to work, you have to have Node.js installed in your terminal. That's in your computer, right? I think this is the best bet. I think they should include this in their document. A lot of people are going to run into trouble here. It says it installed. Since we've installed it, this is how you call it, Claude, and it comes up. Okay, so Claude is actually working now. All right, so we can just set it up a little bit. I prefer dark mode. We're going to use dark mode. It's going to ask you for your Claude Code subscription or build based by API usage. What we're going to do is log in with our Claude Code account with subscription. And it's going to open the browser. All right. It's going to say Claude Code or Pro is required to connect and upgrade to this. First, the reason why it didn't tell me to log in, because I'm already logged in to Claude Code. All right. If you want to do this, you have to be logged in first. This window is going to take you to a login. You log in and it's going to show you this window, right? It's pretty simple. For here, I'm going to go for the max plan. Okay, so it's verifying my payment method. So everything is going fine. It's processing my payment. Now, welcome to Max. I advise you always go for Max. You can try to go for Pro, but I'm going to be using it for a lot of things. I need Max more. So it's going to take you to this window. Claude would like to connect your Claude chat account. What you're going to do is authorize. It says build something great. You're all set up for Claude Code. All right. Next, we're going to go back to our terminal. It's going to say login successful. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to say all this. Claude Code can make mistakes due to prompt injections, regular things. Press enter. So yes, you're going to say trust this folder. Yes. Basically, right now, Claude is installed in our computer. It's pretty much very easy. And that's all you have to do. The reason why I went for Mac, because I use it for more code-based things. I code a lot of things. I build a lot of things. I'm going to use it for that. So now we're actually inside. Now it's been installed and everything's working fine right now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check if the Git actually installed. If you want anything, because it's inside your terminal, it can find any file you want, anything you installed. We're going to say check if Git is installed. I'm going to run this. All right, it's going to go through. It's going to say, do you want to proceed? We're saying Git version is trying to do this command. If you want to check if Git is installed in, you have to put the Git -version. If you're just using regular terminal, it was asking, do you want to proceed? We're going to say yes. All right, it was checking. It says, yes, Git is installed. And we have this version 2.53.0. That's good. Next, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to connect our Git to our GitHub account. First, let me explain what a GitHub is. What is a GitHub? GitHub is basically a cloud-based platform. So Git actually lives in your local terminal, and GitHub is cloud-based, right? It lives on the web. Basically, it's simultaneous. They work together. So it stores and shares repository online. It collaborates with overriding each other's work. You can use requests like pull, review project decisions. You can also pull local commits. Like I explained before, commit is like saving. Basically, a commit means save. It can pull local saves up, pull teams. Teams can collaborate. Once you have that cloud-based, once you commit your code to GitHub, what we're going to do is we're going to try to set up our GitHub account. So let's go to Google, and we're going to search GitHub. All right. GitHub. Go to the first one, github.com, and this is how it is. This is the platform. You just sign up or you log in. I'm already logged in, just sign up. I just do sign in. Make sure you put your credentials. All right. We're in right here. This is going to be your dashboard if you're trying to sign in. It says your home. If you want to create a new repository, you can create a new repository. A repository is going to be where everything's going to be stored, right? You can either make it private or public. For that, you can do that here, but we're going to go home first. So here you can see all your top repositories and everything. I already have some things I did here, even for school too. You can actually search what you want to and search other people's repositories to see what people are posting on GitHub. There's a lot of educational things you can get from here, okay? So you can actually do that first. Let me try to cancel this. We're going to try to go back to our terminal. All right. Then we're going to call Claude again. If you want to go back to what you previously wrote, you can press the arrow key, up and down arrow key. So I'm going to call Claude again. That's to activate Claude or to call it to your file directory, okay? It's going to say, trust this. Do you trust this folder? I'm going to say, yes, I trust this. We're in now. What we want to do is we want to connect our GitHub account to our Git. So what we're going to say is, I want to connect my Git account. I can't even spell account. So you just say, I want to connect my GitHub account, press enter. Going to read that, zoom in. It's going to bring out another command. It's called gh authorize status 2. It's going to ask you if you want to proceed with this. You can say yes. Now it's saying GitHub CLI is not installed on your system. Here's how you can set up. So how to install GitHub CLI. You can do it via this, which is recommended. Open your PowerShell and run this command, or you can actually download it from this website here. So after install it, restart your terminal and run this. This will walk you through authentication with GitHub. We're going to say, I want you to run the command. So basically, you can ask to do anything within your terminal. If you wanted to run this command, you don't have to go and do it yourself. That's the magic of Claude Code and everything, because it runs directly in your terminal. So it's going to ask you, do you want to proceed? You say yes. And it's downloading what we need. It's downloading the GitHub CLI from that command. So as you can see, it's saying preparing to install. We're going to install this. And anything it's doing, you can actually see the tokens. So it's using 43 tokens, which is not too bad. It's trying to install it for us. And we're going to say yes. We don't even have to do anything just by prompting. And it's actually installed that. You can see it's still installing. It says GitHub CLI is now installed. So let's authenticate. Since GLS authentication is interactive, I'll use the token-based approach. You'll need to run this next command yourself in the terminal base because it requires browser interaction. The GH, we're going to have to run this. Let's log in. This will prompt you to choose github.com, choose authentication method browser, which is the easiest, and log in via your browser. You may need to open the new terminal first. So the GH command is in your path. You want me to try anything else? What we're going to do is here, I'm going to paste the command. We're going to enter. All right. Where do you use GitHub? All right. If we use github.com, I'm going to press enter. What is your preferred protocol for Git operations? In this host, we're going to do HTTPS. All right. Authenticate your GitHub account with your credentials. We're going to say yes. We're going to do login with browser. We're going to say yes. So that's going to try to open our browser here. All right. It's actually, we have to click this. To click this, you have to press Control and click. It's going to open in my browser here. I'm already signed in like we did. We're going to say use this, continue. I'm going to use this my account. I'm going to go here. So we're going to try to copy what says enter the code in your device. So I connect your device to GitHub here. We're going to go here and we're going to copy this code, copy, and we're going to paste it here, Control V, and we're going to continue. All right. So this authorization is from Scarborough. What we're going to do is we're going to authorize this. So congratulations, you're all set. Now we've set up our GitHub. Anytime Claude Code tries to build code, so we can actually see it on our dashboard. So it can push or commit code that it's created to our dashboard, okay? So we can actually see what it's doing, and we can actually collaborate with other developers or other people that want to see your code, or if you want to make changes to your code, or make sure it's saved on the cloud. So GitHub is very useful for that. Now, so let's go to, we can exit, check if GitHub is connected. All right. Check this. Let's see what it says. We're going to say proceed. Yes. It says you're not logged in yet. You need to run this in a new terminal. So now we just had a problem with that. I forgot to press enter, but now we're logged in. As you can see, humble. Let's go back to this and we exit. Again, check if GitHub is connected. All right, I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna say yes to proceed. Yeah, because I forgot to press enter and now it's authentication complete. Now it's logged in, but let's see what Claude Code says. Claude Code came back, you're connected, logged in as a humble one at my GitHub, okay? Your token has necessary scopes. Now we're logged in and we have connected our GitHub account. We have installed Git and pretty much that's how it goes. The next section is gonna be using Claude Code with an IDE, preferably Visual Studio Code, all right? You can either use Visual Studio Code, you can use Cursor. There's a lot of IDEs which you can use. What is an IDE? So this is like an integrated development environment. In plain English, it's like a workshop for your building software. So you can actually see the files Claude Code is building, and you can actually edit things, put files in it. So Claude Code actually sees the file, right? And also, the special thing about IDE is it also has an inbuilt terminal. You can use Claude Code within the Visual Studio terminal. So if you want to do terminal things like code, so you can open a terminal within Visual Studio, which is perfect. Visual Studio can edit the code, it can run debugs, it can build and publish projects. So you're keeping all the tools in one place. So that's pretty much how IDE works. First, let's go. If you want to install Visual Studio Code, just go to Google. Let's do Visual Studio Code, right? Here, so you can actually download it. You can either download it for Mac or for Windows, which is here, download it. But I'm not gonna download this because I already have it. I'll just open it here. I already have it here. I use it all the time, especially for school. Then use Visual Studio Code. Open this. First, we have to close this because it's already running in our terminal. Close. All right. This is how Visual Studio Code is going to look like. There are other versions. I also have another version. I have Visual Studio. I have this. I use this too, but this is basic. So first, if you want to install it here, if you want to make sure Claude Code is here, you come here. So you can actually use Claude Code as an extension in Visual Studio. It's easy. Come to extensions here, search Claude. All right, it's going to come up here and you try to install it. All right, let's try to install it. And Trust Publisher install. This is gonna install an extension within Visual Studio, so you can actually use it here and chat with it here. But I use this, but not all the time. I always use terminals, right? I like using the terminal, but you can use this too. So it says your AI coding partner, Claude Code helps you write, edit, and understand codes, write in VS Code. So that's perfect. So what we're gonna do is open, so it's just a number thing. Welcome. Right now it's installed. We can all install it, or it has an auto update. So access this, you see this icon right here. If you press it, it opens Claude Code. All right. And now you can talk to it. You can say hello. Let's do hello. Now you can talk to Claude Code because it's within Visual Studio. So I said, hello, how can I help you? Which is very good, right? So let's see how we can use it in our terminal. To access your terminal from here, you can go view, right? And from here, you can see terminal. So it actually opened the PowerShell terminal for us. So this is our computer. So what we can do, we can also call Claude on the terminal within Visual Studio. We do Claude. Let's see what happens. All right, trust this folder? Yes. Right now, we're using the terminal within Visual Studio. Basically, there's a terminal inside Visual Studio, which allows you to use Claude Code, which is easier because you can create files, you can edit files however you want. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna close this. Now that we set up our Visual Studio, let's go to the next section. The next section is gonna be the Claude.md file. This file is very important if you're doing projects with Claude Code. This file, it writes instructions and coding base instructions, standards and workflow. You don't want your Claude Code going blind to situations. You want to create a Claude.md file. So this writes sets of instructions of how you want things to go, how to do this and how to do that. The memory complements each other. You have the memory, you have Claude Code. Whenever it does tasks, that goes to the MD file and sees your instructions, sees the memory, and uses that instructions to execute tasks. Basically, that's it. Right now, we're going to try to set up our Claude.md file, and it's pretty easy to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, first, We're going to go here. This is a blog post. I'm going to leave a link below. This explains everything about Claude.md, right? So the code we're going to be using is /init. We're going to copy this. This is going to create our file. And remember, you have to create this file within your project, okay? So let's do this. So let me show you. Let's create a new file. Call it Claude test. So now we're going to open that folder in Visual Studio. So to open that, you just go to File and you go to Open Folder. It's going to try to direct you to your files. So you scroll to PC, Windows, and we're going to look for the folder we created, Claude Tech right here. And we're going to select folder. All right. So right now we're inside our folder, right? In here. So what we're going to do here, inside Claude Test, is we're going to open the terminal. And from this terminal, you can see it's in our file. It's no longer in the other one. So the text is inside this file. So we're going to put Claude here. Of course, so it's inside this file in our PCS. So to cross-check this, you can go to your file where you created it here, and you click here, and you can see it's in this file. All right. So you can cross-check that. So now we're going to do Claude. We're going to paste this. We're going to put Claude directly in this folder. So we're going to say yes. All right. So Claude is directly in our folder. So we can do a lot of things here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the test init. So we already copied it and we paste it. All right. So what it's doing is creating, let's expand this. So it's creating our file. All right. So it says, do you want to make edit to this Claude.md? So you can make edits. So if you come here, you can see this file provides guidance for Claude Code AI, your project. If you want a project, you know how to build it, key architecture, or you can fill it here, generate code here. But right now, if you want to edit that, you can edit, but do you want to make edits? So just press no. All right. So this is just for the test. So it's created it. So it's going to say, would you like to add some code files in directory, then rerun init? So it's saying the working directory is completely empty. There's no code base analysis to create a useful Claude.md. Let's do this. Let's create something small. Build me simple web game. Let's see what it comes with. All right. Let's try to build everything. This is building. As you can see, it has an index.html here. You can see it. It's creating the files here. It's going to open for us. Bash command start. So we have to go to this, our terminal, and we press this. Let's proceed. Yes. Now we go to our browser, and there we go. So we have a simple game. We have a simple snake game created using the prompts. As you can see, score 10. Pretty much very good. All right. Wow. It's the power of vibe coding. You can create games just by vibe coding and just by instructions. So it's pretty good. Now I have a snake game. So let's go back. So it created that game. So that's good. So now what we can do is we can create the Claude.md file based on our project. So it reads your files and creates a Claude.md file based on what you have, right? Let's close all this. Let's go back to our file. And what we're going to do is we're going to do /init. So what this is essentially doing is this is creating the Claude.md file. It reads your file based on the game we actually created or Claude Code created. And it's going to give us sets of instructions. And also you can edit that file to get your own instructions. And as you can see, it has a Claude.md file. We can click it and you can edit. You can put what you want. You want architecture, the running game, you can access. Can put anything you want. So these are like set of instructions. So if I want to make this game more efficient, I would edit the Claude.md file, make it more efficient. So it follows my specific instructions, all right? So that's how you create the Claude.md file. So whenever it codes now on this base, it actually looks at that Claude.md file, sees your instructions, and actually builds on that. So that's basically it. So let's just recap on what we did. Claude Code is an AI assistant that reads projects, edit files that lives in your terminal. also runs all sorts of commands. And we talked about the terminal, how to use a terminal. There's a text-based interface that runs commands in your folder. All right. We talked about IDE, which we use Visual Studio Code. It's pretty popular right now, but I use Visual Studio Code. It's an all-in-one workspace where you can see your files, you can edit your files, and it also has a terminal. Claude Code lives in that terminal within the IDE. Then we set up the Git. There's like a version control system that lives in your history, so directly in your project, in your computer. So we set up the GitHub account too. GitHub account is just like a cloud for like sharing, collaboration, so anyone can see your work. You can actually commit your Gits to GitHub through your account. And we talked about the Claude.md file. Claude.md file is like the persistent instructions that tells Claude Code how the project works, and Claude Code uses that Claude.md file. So these are like the basic things for setting up your Claude Code. There's a lot of things too that come with it, like skills. You can install skills. Maybe in another video, I'll go through all that. But I hope you gain a lot of knowledge from this, and I hope you set up everything good. And I hope if you can't really follow up, I advise you to pause or rewind to see what exactly you're missing. And if you have any questions, just comment down below, and I'll leave all the links to the website in my description. And thank you guys for watching.